What is going on, everybody? Black Bond. Been a while, in the middle of a move. Got a lot of things going on in life currently, but had to make this video today because I've been seeing a whole entire bunch of stupidity in regards to Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West not being an RPG. Now, I've never played either game, but when people tell me what is and what isn't an RPG, when they don't have the extensive knowledge, the collection, the experience of role-playing games like I do, it kind of bothers me. So before we even get into it, be sure to check out the Weapon Wheel Patreon, 407, trying to get that up. And as always, my channel, Platinum Elden Ring, first and only Platinum I'll ever get. Elden Ring, Sod Rev vs. Chair, top 10 most disappointing games of all time. Been a while since I made videos, but eventually I'll get back. So what stems of this silly, fabricated, and false ideology of Horizon isn't an RPG is our good old friend Alex. As I call him Skip Bayless, because remember I said me and him could make a podcast that would eclipse everything, him being Skip and me being Shannon, and me clowning him all the time. Because, like Skip, he likes to act like a contrarian. 1 + 1 = 2, but then, unfortunately, kind of like a woman, he'll find a way to try to argue the semantics, and this is clearly the case right here. Now, he has uploaded a 16-minute video, a video that I have not yet watched, so we're going to go through it blind, which is going to pain me because it's 15 minutes long, but people just continue to say asinine things over the internet. And it's crazy, but we're going to watch and we're going to respond and reply in kind.
This is how we're going to start the week, folks. Yup. This is how we are starting the week. We're starting it off right because apparently every single game that Sony makes is an RPG. You heard it right. You heard it right. That's right. Every single game that has only a leveling system or a skill tree that clearly designates it to be a role-playing game. Who knew? Who knew that 60 years of D&D, all the other CRPGs and character alignments were really just there for nothing. They were just there for nothing. Come on, y'all. Now here's what happened. I've been seeing tweets all over Twitter because that's the place you go to look for tweets apparently. And many people were saying how Horizon Forbidden West is the best Western RPG on the market. Now anyone with half a brain knows how stupid that actual tweet in fact actually is.
I mean, it's an opinion. I don't know how it can be dumb or stupid. I think The Legend of Heroes is one of the best Japanese RPG franchises. A lot of people, I would think, would probably disagree because, one, a lot of people probably never even played them.
Now look, if you don't know what an actual RPG is, please don't fret. I'm going to help you out today. An RPG stands for role-playing game. That's right. You have to play a role in order for the game to be considered an RPG. That doesn't mean XP. That doesn't mean skill trees. All it means is, are you playing an actual role? And there's two ways to play roles in RPGs. The simplest way is by, in fact, using a class system. You could have things like Final Fantasy V that have the job system or Final Fantasy Tactics. Each one of those creates a specific role for your characters in your party. Hence, it's a role-playing game. Pretty simple, right? Nothing too fancy.
Okay, so one, we need a class. We need a particular class for it to be a role-playing game. I'm guessing hero, fighter, healer, monk, like the job classes. Okay, that's part one. Let's go.
So we've got that out of the way, right? We can have specific character class roles that the character actually has to play that are restrictive in some ways, but then impact the party in other positive ways that they can work off and coalesce with.
The party. Oh, this is going to be fun. The party.
And actually have some sort of dynamic in between different roles in the party. Makes sense. Nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. The second way that a game can be an RPG is if you actually have character alignment roles. Now, many of you do know what this is if you watch this channel, but you're going to see a lot of people don't know what this actually is. So here it is. This is your typical character alignment chart. You got everything from lawful good, neutral good, chaotic.
3 reasons to ditch generic body wash. Number 1, you're scrubbing your balls with detergent.
Chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, all the way down to chaotic evil. So why is this important? Is because as you are role-playing that character alignment, specific things that you say, specific things that you do, your character's actions, all impact the story directly, whether
this guy's a freaking idiot. You're an idiot. So, making decisions that affect the game and playing a certain role in a party. I can end this video in 30 seconds right here. Who's this guy? For those of you who may not know, this is Dragon Quest. This is the hero in Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest has no parties. Dragon Quest has no decisions that impact the story. Dragon Quest has no classes or jobs. And yet Dragon Quest is the first Japanese RPG, the first console role-playing game, or one of the first, who knows really, but the first majorly recognized Japanese RPG and role-playing game on consoles, has no party, has no class systems, and has none of that chaotic, lawful, neutral decision-making. You have literally been owned and destroyed by the first game in the most popular Japanese RPG franchise of all time. Well, probably not anymore besides Pokemon, but you get the point. The essential father of the genre literally owned you in the very first game, Alex. And I'm not surprised it did, because jabrones like you want to hop on the modern day bandwagon and aren't like me, who started at the beginning. I mean, we can go even further. Dragon Quest gameplay. All battles are one-on-one, meaning there is no party. There's only one player character. And we know regular Nintendo games and stuff don't have decisions and choices that change the game. So really, the only thing that would change Dragon Quest from pretty much any other Japanese RPG is additional party members that play additional roles. So really, you're only telling me that an RPG has multiple characters that, oh my god, you're dumb. You're dumb. Speaking of which, this is from the Guide to Japanese Role-Playing Games. It's like an 800-page PDF or book. I own both. When computer RPGs first came out, they could be divided into turn-based, which are heroes attacking following the selection commands from a menu, or action-based, in which you directly control your character and could walk up to foes to do combat. Of course, in the old days, they generally just amounted to pushing your hero up against an enemy and letting math dictate how much damage was done. Ease. And yes, people, Ease is an RPG as well. And guess what, Alex? No, Adel is not a class. Both of these series were discussed earlier in the early PC JRPG section, so for the action subsection, we're starting off with The Legend of Zelda for the original NES. There's still a lot of debate as to whether Zelda constitutes an RPG, and we'll certainly get into that, but there's no doubt it's the ancestor of many and many action RPGs that appeared on the 8 and 16-bit consoles. Some of these are pretty blatant Zelda clones, but others add traditional RPG elements like experience points and larger amounts of equipment so that they define quality. Most of these games use an overhead perspective, again like Zelda, but some use side-scrolling perspective, sometimes in the Metrovania moniker. Hilarious. And even at the bottom left, From Software's Soulborn series, including Dark Souls and Bloodborne, remains one of the most internationally recognized action RPGs today. So, you're going to tell me that Horizon is not an RPG, but the Legend of Zelda series is. That is asinine to me. You're not playing a class in a Zelda game. You're not making decisions in a Zelda game. You do not have a party in a Zelda game. And from what I know about Horizon, you have a leveling system, skill trees, stat-based weapons and armor, buffs, debuffs, status ailments, shout out to The Great Exposure for that tweet. But none of these, outside of probably Zelda 2, exist. Let's move on to this lunacy. Owned by the very first Dragon Quest Dragon Warrior game.
Whether it's in D&D, whether it's in game, those actions and how you roleplay that character alignment directly, like I said, will impact the story and also the ending as you are playing that game or that tabletop RPG or anything.
You're confusing classic traditional D&D games with RPGs. There are many types of RPGs, from CRPGs to SRPGs to WRPGs to JRPGs to action RPGs. Come on, be smarter than this.
Thing like that. That is what we'll consider to be an actual role-playing game, since you are in fact playing roles. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's look at some salt, shall we? I tweeted this out recently. Jesus Christ. Hashtag Horizon Forbidden.
So again. The hero from Dragon Quest. You're not playing a role. You're not playing a class. You don't have a party. You're not making any decisions. But we all know Dragon Quest is the father of Japanese RPGs. This tweet is just stupid to the point where I'm not even going to let it finish. I mean, let's just fast forward this now, because blocking him, very foolish. Now redefining what an RPG is to discredit a PlayStation game. New lows. There's trolling and stupidity. And I 100% agree. I don't know who OTI is, but you're right. Alex is wrong.